But yeah, if you want the spec sheets, by all means, go online. You're able to see them. But when I'm looking at spec sheets, I'm like, I still need to have the phone in my hand to see exactly what 5 inches is, or I think this is 6.1. I think is the, but and the reason that is because even though this is 6.1, this my Sony Xperia Mark V. Let me turn it on real fast. Is also 6.1 inches. Okay. But what's the difference? And you can probably already see this one's a little bit narrower and a little bit taller. All right. Now, if I could, I'd show you the Galaxy S22 that I'm using to record right now. This one is also 6.1 inches, but it is shorter and a little wider. So, yes, I can see what 6.1 inches is, but I need to hold the phone in my hand to see if it's something I actually enjoy, because right here, even though you can't see the third option, 3 different ratios of height to width, but all amounting to 6.1 inches. So, overall, and I think that's all I really have to say about the Pixel 6a so far. I will continue to play around with it. I'll put my SIM card in it at some point and use it as my main device. But overall, it's a good phone. The one thing I haven't mentioned so far is the fact that this back, unlike many other flagships of today, which this technically, I guess, would not be considered a flagship, but it's plastic. And I'm thoroughly enjoying the fact that it's plastic as opposed to glass. As you can see, there's no case. Well, if you couldn't see, but there is no case on this phone right now. My iPhone has a case. That Sony that you just saw had a case. The S22 that I'm using to record right now has a case on it. And I feel more comfortable using a phone with a plastic back without a case. One, because if I drop it, then, that's not going to crack. I mean, this is glass up here, so that might break. And then, of course, your screen is glass. That might break. But it is one less piece of glass to worry about. Two, I feel like with the oils that come from our hands that kind of accumulate on this device or any plastic backs, it adds that natural grip. With the glass and the metal, I feel like I'm still worried that the phone is going to slip out of my hands. So I end up not feeling comfortable having those in my hand without a case. This one's a little smaller, like the phone itself, so I might actually feel okay. But for the most part, yeah, if it's glass or metal, I want to put a case on it. And lastly, and probably the least important thing, it's just they always feel cold to the touch. Like I pick up my phone, oh, it's cold. Let me put a case on it. Whereas this plastic one doesn't feel cold. Now, it's also kind of warm in my room right now, so that might be part of it. But I do feel that this is a good choice when it comes to design language. I believe you end up losing wireless charging, which I don't use anyway. But for a lot of people, that is not a problem. So yeah, wireless charging for me is not a problem. So therefore, I don't mind the fact that it is not included. But instead of me continuing to ramble, as I sometimes do, I will say that 6.1 inches for this Pixel 6a is fine. I honestly think I like my Galaxy a little more because it is shorter and a little wider, feels a little better in my hands. Interestingly enough, the Xperia, because it's narrower and taller, I think I like that in my hands. This is some type of middle child situation where it's not quite right. Yeah, and that's just the truth for me, at least. That this variant of 6.1 inches is not as appealing in my hands as the Sony Xperia 5 Mark I or the Samsung Galaxy S22 that I'm currently using to record. So yeah, I will continue to use it, and at some point maybe I'll upload another video. But it's a good phone. I bought it used for let's just say $350. That might have been like $346 or $364 or something, but close to $350 after taxes. I looked, roughly it was $100 cheaper than what I would have spent had I purchased it brand new directly from Google. Even right now, it's on sale at Best Buy and Amazon for $50 off. So $399 before tax, which I think that's a good price for this phone. We'll see how it progresses. I guess the pricing and the phones themselves. But overall, yeah, I don't have any complaints right now. But I can say it's probably not the phone for me. And as I'm staring at the phone, I do remember one more thing. And again, this is something you don't realize until you're like, oh, wait a minute. I didn't know that I liked it that way. So on this iPhone, which I know it's iPhone, it's something different, we have the volume rocker on this side, and we have it's not called the power button anymore, but this is the power button, okay? It's on that side. It's easily accessible with your thumb. You're good to go. All right? With this Xperia 5 Mark 1, Xperia 5 Mark 3, you have the power button, which in my opinion is a button that you interact with a lot more than with the volume rockers up and down. You're locking your phone, you're unlocking your phone. This has a fingerprint reader built into it, so it's right there where your thumb wants it to be. If I could show you on this S22, it's kind of the same setup, not a fingerprint reader, but you have the power button and then you have the volume rocker. But on these Pixels, you have the volume rocker and then you have the power button, which in terms of how you hold it in your hands, that's not comfortable. Now, what I will say, no, I'm not going to say it like that, but if I'm here to unlock the phone, then that's cool. But if I want to lock it, that's too much of a reach in my opinion. I know I'm nitpicking, but when all the other phones have it that the the power button is lower and it's easier for you to reach, and this phone is, is as tall as it is, it's not comfortable to have to move your hand this much, because this is probably a comfortable feel for the hand right there. And then to slide it up. Is it the end of the world? No. But I feel that other companies have realized, wait a minute, the power button needs to be either lower or needs to be on its own side like the iPhone. But that's, I think, a miss for Google. But even on this Pixel 2, I mean, it's the same way. Phone's a little shorter, so it's a little easier to access. Or a little easier to reach. But overall, I think it's a pretty good device. And we're almost 20 minutes in, so I'm going to cut it short. We'll cut it off. And yeah, if I decide to make another video about this Pixel 6a, I'll be sure to upload it.